Hello everyone, have you ever wondered how to structure a good relational database for a new project? A good design is a foundation of a strong application. A bad design can create a lot of problems later. Today I want to teach you the basic rules for transforming an ideas into a relational database model. As our main example, I will use my LingoLoop database to explain these rules. Let's start. Okay, when we design a database, we are transforming our ideas into a structure, and for that there are three main rules for this transformation. You can see these are the three main rules. That rules helps us to make a strong transformation for our database. Let's start. Rule number one: entities becomes tables. The first rule is simple. Every entity which is a main concept in your project becomes a table in your database. For example, in this project, their main concepts are student and course. Maybe this project is to a high school, or maybe to a web application to sell courses, maybe. And for that reason, the two main entities or the two main concepts of that project is a student and course. For example, if you create a project for cars, your main concept maybe could be cars and owners, for example. That's the concept becomes entities in this example. Okay, moving to the next one rule. The rule number two, it's about the attributes becomes columns. Every attribute or a piece of information about an entity becomes a column in the table. For example, this piece of information that describes our entity, for example, for the entity student, we can use his or her name, his age. These are a piece of information of our entity, and for that it becomes a column in a table. Okay, moving to the next one rule. The rule number three is about the relationship connect the tables. This is the most important part because we use foreign keys to connect our tables. How we do this depends of the type of the relationship. For example, one student can study one course. Or for example, another expression is about the cars with the owners. Many owners can have many cars. That's the rule number three. Relations connects to the tables. Okay, now let's look at these rules into a real project. This is my database diagram for my LingoLoop project. Okay, let's start applying the rule number one. Entities to tables. First, let's identify the entities. As you can see, I have users, I have a vocabulary, I have user states, I have generate post templates, and more entities. Each of these main concepts has become a table in my database. This of each main concept has become a table in my database. Okay, moving to the next one rule. The rule number two is about attributes to columns. For example, each of my concepts that describe my entity, for example, the users can have name, can have email, can create a profile config, and more. Each of them have become a column of this table. This is one of the most important rules. When you design a database, you have to be focused on what attributes do you will use in your tables. Moving to the next one, for example, for my entity or for my table vocabulary, I have some attributes or columns for the instance, category, user ID, word or phrase, and context note. Okay, moving to the next one rule. The rule number three is handle relationships. Now, for the most interesting part of the relationship, I will explain how to join each table. Okay, let's start with one-to-many relationship. Here is the perfect example. One user can create a lot of posts. Okay, this is one-to-many relationships. To create this link, we copy the primary key from the one side. In this case is the user ID, and we pour it into the many side. In this case is generate post. This means that the user can have many generated posts. Okay, moving to the next one relationship. one of the most complex relationship is the many-to-many. A generic post can contain many vocabulary words, and one vocabulary words can appear in many different posts. How do we solve this? We create a new table and it called post vocabulary. This is our join table or an intersection table, as you can see it. This table contains the post ID and the vocabulary ID. These are the foreign keys that connect back to the original tables together. Together they create the primary key for this new table. In my case, I create a new ID for this table. I think that's all for the most principal rules applying into my project LingoLoop. And I consider following these rules, we have created a clean and organized structure for our data. Okay, so to review the main rules, remember, the field rule is about your main ideas or call entities to become tables. Moving to the second one rule, remember, the details about your entities or your tables become a columns into your database. And moving to the rule number 3, and remember, use foreign keys to connect the tables based on their relationships. You can use one-to-many relationship or many-to-many relationships, and in some cases you can use one-to-one relationships. My recommendation for you is taking the time to design your database like this before you start coding, because you will build a strong foundation that will save you a lot of time and problems in the future. Okay, I hope this breakdown was helpful. This is the exact structure I'm using to build LingoLoop, and I want to ask you, do you have any question about this database design, or what is the most challenging part of the database design for you? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, finally, if you found this video useful, please give it a like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.